So after the game ends and Carolina wins and it's 5-2 or whatever.
McElhaney wins.
McElhaney wins. I stayed off Twitter because of that.
It wasn't that bad.
The one thing that they do is they do kind of the thunderclap, and
Yep.
then they skate to the boards, and then they bash themselves up against the boards. Now, Steve, at risk of repeating yourself in both of your outlets, but I know there are some people that maybe haven't seen your video yet. Brian Burke said, "I hate it. I don't like it."
Can I read it? His
Please
quote?
read it. Yeah.
So the game was on Tuesday.
So this would be Wednesday on
So
PTS.
Wednesday
on
on
the broadcast, I think.
primetime. No, Wednesday on primetime sports.
He said something to this effect during the broadcast.
Yes.
And then on prime
So
time
he
said something else.
expands and he goes, I don't think it's professional. I don't think it belongs in our league. If the people in Carolina like it, great. I think it's absurdly amateurish, peewee garbage stuff. They like it, terrific. Stay and watch it. Clap. Have another beer and stay and watch them swim or canoe or whatever they're going to do next. I'm not watching. Brian Burke.
Can you read that again and I'll stop you? I'll stop you.
I don't think it's professional. I don't think it belongs in our league. If the people in Carolina like it, great.
They like it! Full stop! That's what it is, man.
Man, they barely like the Hurricanes. That's like
Yep. But they're generating
buzz, which is what you need to do.
Hey, they
Promote
won
your
the game. That was great. We might come back. What is this? It's just another fun thing, and then it generates a conversation. It's better than, hey, I went to a game last night and they won. They do this thing at the end of the game. They do this thing. Hockey. Oh my God! Get out of your way. Get out of your own way. Have some friggin' fun. Like Brian Burke, who I met recently, and I certainly didn't yell at him when I met
From
him.
all accounts, is a great guy. Personally.
As far as I've heard, met him on ice surfing. Didn't get to talk to him on ice surfing. There's too much going on. But when I'm trying to think of what he did to the Leafs, like game ops, when he was GM. And the only thing I could think of is the Marlies got cheerleaders. That's all I can think of. And I think he was the one who introduced Costume Elvis and his little crew of people who throw T-shirts into the crowd in the nosebleeds. Mm-hmm. I got acquainted with them. I never caught a shirt. Still haven't. Bitter. That's all I can think of. And he talked about on the broadcast, one thing he said was, well, I wanted to make a team that fans wanted to watch. So they hit a lot and they fought a lot. The team stunk! They did not win hockey games! Was the issue. There were their playoff attendance was real low. No one went. No one went to any Leafs playoff games because they didn't make it. That would have generated some buzz. That would have made them a lot more entertaining. If they fight and hit en route to a win, wonderful. Mm-hmm. But they didn't. They didn't win. So I don't understand how you could shit on what the Hurricanes are doing. Look, if it's not your thing,
And which is what he's saying.
fine. And a few people tweeted that. They're like, look, I don't have to like it. And that's fine. Listen, you don't have to like anything. You don't even have to like hockey. If it is, you know what? The way they skate around there and play, I don't want to watch. I'm not paying to watch people play. I want to watch them work. It's unprofessional to play. Do you go to work to play? Didn't think so. You go to play to work. I don't want hockey players. I want hockey workers.
Punch Imlach, 1963.
I like him. His name is Punch. You know he works. Toughest coach in hockey. Except for Fisty McKick, the head coach of the Montreal Maroons in 1918.
World War I veteran.
Yeah.
And they called him Fisty McKick because that's what he would do in the enemy trenches.
Charged into the field with nary a gun or knife in sight.
Just fisties and
Just
kickies.
50s and kickies.
Kickies.
To the Prussians or whoever happened to be into the Ottomans. They knew about Fisty McKicky or whatever I called him. They knew about that guy. They knew all about him. Dude, have some friggin' fun.
Well, I think you said it perfectly. Hockey is the best game in the world. according to you, in your opinion, and that's
in my
fine.
opinion.
I agree.
There's other sports I love watching.
For
I
sure.
like watching hockey the most.
Sure. Okay, fair. Hockey culture sucks.
It is the worst. Even the fun parts of it are terrible. Like, there are very few fun parts to the actual culture of it, and the allegedly fun parts are just nauseating. But check out the salad. You see the salad of the
I actually think that's
lingo.
fun. I laugh.
I laugh because it's douche chilling. I laugh because I can't. It's a parody, right? But there's people like that. There's people who do it as a parody, and then
all
there's people
saw-
who do that in earnest.
We saw the Uber video. They actually talk like that.
Yeah, and it's whatever. You're talking laid back, your bros, whatever. But and it's probably because I'm not a hockey player, bro. I'm a duster. I'm just a bender. I don't know. I just don't know. But even the fun, chill parts of hockey can barely stomach it.
You would never bang your Twiggy off the glass?
Oh, wait, what did he say?
I think it was bang my Twiggy off the glass. Or chucked my Twiggy off the glass, something like that.
Chuck my Twiggy into the stands.
Yeah,
I think.
into the stands, yeah.
Jesus! Like, have fun. Have fun, for crying out loud. And you know what? A friend introduced this phrase to me. Try not to yuck someone's yum.
That's disgusting.
It's a
That
terrible...
sounds like what Punchy McKicky would say.
Sounds like
Listen, not to yuck your yum, but I think I'm going to kick that ottoman in the forehead.
what?
I don't know.
You're gonna kick the ottoman.
You just
He's gonna kick
Ottoman Turks.
No, not
Like,
the
like
chair.
Ottoman
The
chair,
Ottoman,
yeah,
someone
no.
from the Ottoman Empire.
No. You're gonna get that coffee table.
I'm gonna because there's a bunch of Turks standing on it. You see, Fisty McPunch or whatever.
I like
Yeah.
Fisty McKicky.
So if your Fisty McKicky, if your yum is saying dangle snipe selly salad bud, I'm not
Enjoy
gonna
it.
yuck it. Yeah,
No.
I'm sorry for yucking your yum. Now the yum in Carolina is something I also happen to find tasty. It's the storm surge, I think they call it. The clap, and then they run into the boards, and they have fun. Literally, you're criticizing clapping at children. At the end of the game, the kids rush the glass, do the clap. Leaf fans were doing it, I heard. People were sending me on Twitter,
Why
Leaf
not?
fans.
Because it's fun.
Because it's fun. I'm here. They lost. Might as well enjoy the clap thing. It's the end of the game. Kids storm the glass. Storm, you see. They storm the glass, and then their hockey idols bang into them. And they get it on Snapchat or whatever the kids are doing. I'm hip. They get it on their phone, and it's a moment they remember forever. Or the players could raise their sticks at center ice and leave.
Which, by the way, is something they would never do 10 years ago.
And remember, do you remember the first time? I think it was the Rangers that started doing that, and everyone was like, "What a team! Brilliance! What respect they have for their fans! Oh my God! Are we the oatmeal of sports?" They gathered around there's literally a circle made for them in the middle of the ice, pre-made, pre-painted. And they stood in it, they got in it, I'm glad they found it. And they raised their sticks for the fans, and people lost their minds! The New York Rangers, revolutionizing the sport! And someone back then was like, I don't like this allegedly European nonsense. Let them clap. Let them bang off the boards. If they won the game, they earned it. If they do it after a loss, it's maybe a little silly.
Also, can I just say, I think that as we get older, I think everybody experiences this. You go, music, it's not as good as it used to be. Movies, not as good as it used to be. You know why? Because you grew up with that. Kids today, with their tablets and their things.
Oh,
When I was a kid, we played with frozen horse poo. I actually had a science teacher tell me that. They used to play what they called them road apples. That's what they played hockey with. And they would use just couch
that's in
cushions.
Bobby Bond's book.
Couch cushions where they would fling horse shit off the couch cushions. That's what they played with. And that's why they were real men, because they threw poo at each other, and that was hockey.
That's more fun than chill.
Can you imagine getting your tooth knocked out by a piece of petrified horse shit?
It's good times. But my point is this.
It's unprofessional to play with rubber.
Let them
Have it bounce off of things.
It's, when
Clap
Brian,
shit bombs like a man.
I know Brian Burke has been in hockey a long, long time, and I don't begrudge him saying our game. But you got to remember, when it is our game, that means that eventually it passes to the next generation, and that's what's happening.
I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now now what I'm with isn't. And what's it seems weird and scary to me, and it'll happen to you too. Abe Simpson.
It's true.
Except without stuttering and giggling.